Okay, for this podcast, we're going to do something very special.
This is Auto Collabs.
Because Michael Cirillo's Zoom, let's play a game podcast. His Zoom keeps cutting in and out. So if he disappears, Kyle and I are going to attempt to finish his sentence.
Actually, what we should start with is rapid fire questions. Cirillo, what color is your hair? See, he dropped out already.
Orange.
Orange.
Oh, it's funny. We're having a lot of fun, which is so appropriate for today's guest, Nathanael Greklek, a Mohawk Honda Chevrolet. This is a young man who has transformed the marketing department of this dealership from a paid ad strategy to a full organic strategy. And it may or may not involve him with a large team now. I may or may not have seen TikTok videos of him dancing to Michael Jackson music in a pink bunny suit. And, for all that...
Dang it, we could have done the whole Cirillo thing a second ago, but it's okay. Well, speak. The thing is that what we do know is that Nathanael Greklek probably has Zoom and podcast down maybe better than us today.
For sure.
So we really hope that you enjoy this conversation with Nathanael Greklek, and let's roll the tape now that Cirillo's back.
We hope you enjoy this conversation with
Well, this is an episode we've been waiting for a while. Nate, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anytime I can hang out with you guys is a good time.
Oh, likewise. I love the background. Why don't you tell us? I mean, we know, but why don't you tell the podcast people where you are sitting right now? Describe the room you're sitting in. I'm
currently sitting in the Mohawk Auto Group green screen studio.
Explain the studio. That could be a pull-up banner and an iPhone.
He's like, I got an iPhone and a pull-up banner.
Give us the details.
You got to give us the feeling, the whole feeling of what you've done there.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights. I have a Blackmagic ATM Mini Pro, a MacBook. I have some Shure MV7s. Not your SB, SMB, whatever you guys got over there. I got a Roadcaster Pro. I got a TV in front of me, and I got my teammates over here making content like animals. So,
So how big is the room? How big is the room roughly?
The room is probably, 20 feet by, no, it's got to be more than that. 20 by, I'm not good. Don't ask me. I don't know measurement.
He said it's big. Somewhere between
big enough where I can fit enough people in here.
Hold on. I thought you said you were at a dealership.
I am.
Got him.
This is the question.
That was the loaded.
This is the point. The point is that the Mohawk Group has spent a lot of time, energy, money, and put a lot of trust in you to build and lead a social media team to do things differently than the majority of other dealers out here. And we want to drill into that story for a minute.
Yeah. Well, we definitely do things a lot differently in terms of social media and culture creation. So that's always good.
Right. It's just normal to you now. He's got that whole normalized thing. Yeah. I just went into my dealership. I got a massive studio with a green screen and pro this and pro that, and a whole team of people making content over there. And it's only Wednesday.
Yeah. Tell me you cracked the code without saying you cracked the code. What was it, dude? Was it this way when you came to the dealership?
No. So when I started there, they were just posting delivery photos pretty much every single minute because our Honda store is very high volume. And I started as a delivery specialist. So for anyone who doesn't know, love you, Michael Cirillo. RIP Zoom for Michael Cirillo.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
If the audio people have no idea that he just dropped out of the call.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. So I started off as a delivery specialist and then saw that they were doing things on social media, had an idea, and I pitched a new job position, said, hey, I really want to help create social media, build the brand, make sure people understand what they should expect by the time they come in the door. And I'll be at events, I'll be at wherever you need me to go, and basically just put it all on social. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And since then, we've built a team up where we have 5 people on the team. And yeah, we produce over 500 pieces of content a month.
Woo! That's 100 pieces a person. Somebody, there ain't nobody quiet quitting over there. Let me just tell you that.
This month we're actually tracking to post over 700. So
Wow.
Golly.
I'm guessing
including Instagram stories, and our TikTok isn't actually attached yet. So we're getting there.
Wow.
How long ago, like, so when that story started and you said when I first came in here, how long ago was that?
That's 5 years. So I've been here for actually technically 4. I started off at Mohawk Honda 5 years ago. And then 6 months in, I pitched that job. They said yes. And then 4.5. Since then, I've been able to do a whole bunch of things. If anyone was in a Honda store, everyone remembers this is actually a fun story. So if anyone remembers the Honda Walk Around Challenge, it was a national competition. I remember shooting that on my iPhone 7 that they had bought me and editing them and sending them in, getting the green light that one of our guys was going. And I go there. Before I go there, I see this box in the owner's office. And I'm like, hey, what's that box right there? It's a box with a green screen and a camera. I'll never forget, a Canon XA7. And he goes, yeah, we really want to do like commercials and stuff. So we bought this. I go, can I have it? Because, I was already starting like shooting video and stuff. He goes, yeah, sure, you can have it. I was like, sweet. So I grabbed that. We have this thing called a Mevo. So if anyone doesn't know, that's a live camera. So basically I get to this competition, I'm shooting on my camera and like, hey, can you shoot our competition walkarounds? I'm like, yeah, sure. They go, we'll pay you $600. So not only did I get to go to Napa Valley for free on Honda's dime, American Honda, they also paid me $600 to film all of the walkarounds that they would later judge, which was pretty awesome. So there's a whole bunch of stories. And if you're at a SoduCon, you can check in, ask me some questions about all of that. But since then
you know what? That's like the early version of what you've begun doing, because I think it's interesting where there is a camera and where there is a person manning said camera, there is rich opportunity, and you're executing that on, the ground level of like posting and creating content, photo, video across multiple platforms. But what I find really interesting about what you're doing with your team is not just doing that, like insular inside the store, but you've actually said, hey, camera, person manning camera, community. And you've opened up some inroads there. Can you tell us a little bit about how some of those things have those connections to your community have begun, and what you're doing now to kind of give the community the resource of your team?
I mean, there's so much there. I mean, wherever we provide money and funds for, we don't just give them a check and say, hey, congratulations, here's your money. A lot of times, unless it's like a small baseball game, like, the little leagues, we can't go to all of those, obviously. But, these big community events that we sponsor, we're there. We got our boots on the ground. We got people there volunteering, doing the thing. And we bring a camera. We provide that opportunity to showcase what this day was all about. We leverage the community. We collaborate with them. We bring in the founders and different people like that. And we also offer interviews. So right now we're currently in the process of interviewing a local non-for-profit that helps veterans get dogs, service dogs specifically, that are adopted dogs for PTSD and things like that. So we're currently working on that, creating a video. And for the month of September, we're going to sell Paws for a Cause. So we're going to sell those in the dealership. But on top of just selling those in the dealership, we're going to have the backstory. We're going to be able to bring her in, do Facebook Lives and things like that, so people understand more about these charities that you're being a part of as a dealership. So that's a little bit of what we do in terms of community involvement.
That's so key to it's expressing what a dealer does in the community in a non, like, I don't know, snarky way, or I don't even know the word to use it. Like,
it's not saying, hey, look, here's our money.
Look
we
what we
gave
did,
money.
right?
Woo.
It's like, no, look at what they're doing. And I love
Yeah.
that. You're still creating content alongside of the dealership on your accounts. But instead of going, look at what we did, look at all the things that we did, or the money we raised, or the money we sent to them, and just videoing like your people doing that, you're taking them and giving them access to share what they've done, right? I think that's an unlock to the charitable resources that dealers are giving and providing all these communities that you've been able to execute because you've built this social media team first around the store and now into the community.
I mean, it's always been that way. I've always treated it that way, the community, and dealerships treat it that way. Most dealerships give a lot to the community. That's just the fact of the matter, that we are so highly involved in our communities. We're always sponsoring things, but we don't take that one extra step to say, hey, take a look at this. I mean, for a prime example, Special Olympics of New York. Like one of my favorite videos I've made so far is our torch run that we were able to collaborate with the police. So they did a jog from Schenectady all the way to the capital, which is Albany. For anyone who doesn't know, the capital of New York is not New York City, it's Albany.
Hey,
how far is that?
People said they couldn't get education from this podcast.
So they ran from Schenectady, they traded off. But I had the opportunity to not only ride in a Mohawk Chevrolet truck, but I also ran with the police officers. The video is up on there. I'm vlogging while I'm running. Like, hey, how long you been doing this? We went Facebook Live.
Old Casey Neistat.
I love it.
Anyway,
You know
so
what?
yeah,
but enough of this crap. Let's talk about attribution. No, I'm just kidding.
How many car sales can you distinctly track back to your vlogging with the police officers?
I can actually track referral links that I put in there for people.
See?
Over
See?
over 24,000. I don't know if that's good, but
4,000 good.
That's just straight from organic.
That's unbelievable. Well, but no. Okay, so maybe you can't go attribution, but let's actually go to that, because I think a lot of people do have that question. Okay, so you've got 2 rooftops now, right? That you're managing
Correct.
content for.
You 3.
Got 2 rooftops, or 3? You said?
Yeah, we have Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet, and a collision center.
Okay, so you got three store/rooftops that you're managing content for. You got a team of 5 people doing that, including yourself. And most dealerships or dealers go immediately to, well, what's the expense of that? That sounds expensive. That's a lot of people resources, right? Yeah. And what you've done, and I know because I've talked to you and Scott Risley, I'd like you to explain a little bit, but talk about this transformation from how much paid advertising that you've had to do across multiple channels and how you've been able to scale that back because of the organic influence of all of the content that you've done and the results of that for the stores, because there is a result to all of this work that you've done.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for people is they always, especially us in the automotive, the first thing when you think about branding, you think about organic social media. It's not right off the bat, right? It's not gonna, like, we weren't able to cut our traditional ad spend, majority of our traditional ad spend, because I started this 4 days ago and I produce all this content. No, we've been able to build it over 4 years. And that's what most people have a problem with, is they don't see the longevity of being able to be in front of almost 2 million impressions a month, and then even 2.5 million over on high months. And then you also have your lows, you always also get that algorithm change. And last month was like one of our worst impression months. And it was just because everything changed, and now you have to switch your content. And we have to get away from this traditional ad spend and go more digital, and digital is more cost effective. And that's the matter. That's the point of the fact that's it. Like,
what is
investing in people.
Can you correlate what has happened to your organic site traffic? Have you ever made that correlation?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely increased. I can literally see how many people. So, for instance, we put links in our posts pretty much every day, like just there, just in case someone's like, hey, I'm going to Mohawk Honda, they better have a link that I can get to their webpage. Especially for me, that's how I think. If I'm going to someone's social media, I got to be able to get there fast. And if I want to get something, I better be able to find out how to get it wicked fast. So we put links to our websites in pretty much all of our posts, regardless if it's in the community or not. But that's just because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying different things, and we can correlate how many times someone clicks that and goes to the website. And if we hit the paid ad, you can do that exact attribute from, oh, they saw this, they went to the website and they bought a car, and we can attribute gross sales and things like that.
What would you say to, okay, so like kind of Andy, your dealer definitely had the vision for it. Definitely had the willingness to take the risk. He also had you, right? Somebody that he was willing to kind of like put the bet on.
Yeah.
I think where you are now and where a lot of dealers are, they might believe in some of what you're saying or all of what you're saying, but likely some of what you're saying and saying, oh, it must be nice, or it would be really nice if I could get to that point. What would you say to that dealer that just wants to like dip their toe in the water, that maybe is using an agency, to just do SEO and like do paid media, that is spending a lot on advertising? What would you say would be the first steps for them to like just dip their toe in the water of this content production strategy to gain that organic traffic and impressions to drive sales?
The first step I would say is find somebody. Don't.
Where are they going to find that person? Right? You said, I'm just going to play devil's advocate.
Yeah. Sure.
Find
absolutely.
somebody. Yeah. Where am I going to find that person?
I mean, pretty much anywhere. Facebook, LinkedIn.
Okay. How am I going to find someone on Facebook? What am I going to do? I'm literally right now, I'm a marketing manager.
Yep.
I'm a dealer, right? And you got it. This is almost a
hold
game
on,
of
forget
explain
that.
it like I'm 5.
Forget that. Don't go to Facebook. Don't go to LinkedIn. Go to all of the people that you've given money to. Go to your local school. I'm pretty sure there is a college around somewhere by your dealership. And I would contact the marketing. I would contact some local grads that are there that want to do some work. Be like, hey, how would you do this? A lot of people want to, especially we've had a few interns here at Mohawk, and they've literally been like, I've never had a better internship where there's a lot of work to do. I mean, we might.
Okay, so that's a good step.
Find a college intern.
What should they be expecting to resource them with? You have a bunch of equipment. You have a room, right? They don't need all
an
that.
iPhone.
What?
An iPhone and a rig that costs $200. So about $1,500,
including the iPhone.
That's including the iPhone. That's a microphone.
What's the rig? Is it a gimbal? Is that what you're thinking is like first shot, or
No,
is it something else?
I don't actually have it on me. I should have brought it. It's literally a selfie stick. It's a glorified selfie stick.
There you go.
Because
sometimes you got to get that thing out in front, right?
That's it. I mean, if anyone checks out our Facebook lives, our lives are on Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet. They're done with that rig, and it's just more or less it's the audio. In a video, right. People don't really care. They care about the quality and they'll notice the quality, but if they can't hear what you're talking about, they're not going to pay attention.
That's right. And okay, so you got this is where you'd find the person. This is what equipment they need to get started. If you step foot in a dealership, you had that exact equipment, it was only you didn't have a full team, what content are you making?
So, all right. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to get every single salesperson in the dealership to send me delivery photos. First step. Absolutely. Without a doubt. That is the number one engaging in the years that I've done it. Step one, all of your, actually, that's pretty funny because you could, technically, you don't even need an iPhone for that. You use your salespeople and they just send
you don't even need the marketing person you don't even need the content person. You're like, okay, great. That, right? He just went up. He's like, you can do this with who you have right now with no additional investment. Where's your excuse?
You still need a person to heckle the people to get that, and the sales manager, you still need someone to post it. So still get somebody.
Okay,
but
you still got to make sure you get them an iPhone.
You can get them a computer that you probably have laying around, and you create a messenger group on Facebook. And boom. So delivery photos, step one, add to your story. We're finding that a lot of people want to window shop. So add to your story every single day. And let's do one more.
What do you mean
What
by
to your
add-
story?
what do you
Like
mean by add
vehicles?
to your story?
Like
Yeah.
vehicles on your story?
Vehicles on your story and your people, the behind the scenes, what it looks like on a day-to-day basis. You know, people like to be a part of what's going down. So I would do that. So delivery pictures, story, and then on top of that, if you have time after that, then consider showcasing the employees in different types of anything, you know, fun
Yeah,
content
feature
that
the
shows the
people.
culture. Yeah, feature the people that everyone's going to see when they walk through that door. And that's where I would start.
What I love
that's how I
about this
did
is
start.
this is marketing, but it's about planting a stake in the ground and controlling what you can control. It's not about like running your business off of leased property. It's like, no, we're going to control what we can control and participate that way.
And building a strong brand. I know everybody here would agree with me that a brand is stronger than your lease special.
Yeah. Especially these days. You're what?
Yeah, least
You know, that's-
special. What's a special, right? And yeah,
Your
so
brand
it-
disappeared with the microchips.
I can't wait till things normalize and people.
Michael just dropped out.
he dropped off the Zoom call. He was like, I can't wait till whoop gone. Well, I think one question that I would have is maybe for the more mature groups that are doing some of this.
I'm sorry,
doing
one
some of
second.
this work already.
Oh, he's going.
Uh-oh.
So one of his team is actually, if you're just listening, came up to him with like an emergency question. And so he is right now dipping out. And Michael's back with us, though. How was your trip?
They're asking him if they can fix my Zoom.
Yeah.
They're like, we know how to fix
Nathaniel,
that.
he's like, does anybody know how to fix Cirillo's Zoom?
Paul Scott Risley.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
So
Sorry, yeah.
my question is like, what is your team looking toward or shifting? You said the algorithm has changed and you're shifting content. Like, what's the next step for you for maybe some of those mature groups that do have some content creators that are really trying to go, hey, here's the horizon. Here's what we're looking out. Here's what we're trying to shift to. What are you doing right now?
So first off, if there's a team out there like that, I want to know about you and I want to talk to you and I want to collaborate with you. Step one. Two is we are looking towards honestly posting more 30-second shorts and long form. We are posting a lot more to YouTube shorts and building up our content. We're making more content. That's really what it is. We're doubling down on building more and making more content and sharing to the story. Instagram, TikTok. We're pushing more on TikTok now and Reels.
Yep. I think that's huge. Like for people to know, like YouTube Shorts, YouTube long form content, TikTok and Instagram Reels are like the things that are right now in the algorithm hitting that you're finding success with and trying to grow content from that perspective. So I think
And then
that's
one more. I have one more
yeah.
thing on top of that is to brand your salespeople.
Okay. Yeah, so support branding the salespeople, not just the overall dealership. More kind of that behind the scene type thing.
Yeah, I've talked about this with Paul. It's a new tier. I'm calling it tier 4. I don't know if it's actually made up yet, but I'm making it up. I'm claiming it's the tier 4, and that is the salesperson inside of the dealership. Because when you can get every single salesperson to brand themselves and go after the customer that they want to walk through that door, just think about that. So if you have 20 sales, that's 20 different demographics you can hit.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, hey,
Okay,
look,
sorry.
Michael was supposed to pay attention to the clock, but I don't think his Zoom knows what time it is anymore. So, Nathan, it has been, or Nathaniel or Nate, I'm sorry, there's like 18 different ways to say your name to sideways, but your bow tie speaks wonders for the class that you are, as well as your
Love my
ability
bow tie,
to
by the way.
execute. As well as your ability to execute. We really thank you for coming on Auto Collabs today on behalf of myself, Paul, and Michael Cirillo. It's just been a blast.
Absolutely.
Y'all, just so you know, Michael is still attempting to work on his Zoom, but that really was a great conversation, and I appreciate the fact that like he's still working it out in time. The thing that I caught that was, hey, last month was a really down month for us from an engagement perspective, and we realized we needed. Yeah, from an impression perspective. And he's like, we needed to shift our whole content strategy at this point because now we've got to look toward different types of content, more content, reaching out in different ways. And having a work in progress like that, I think is important, especially to any team that is looking to make content on a regular basis.
The thing about that I love is the fact that it's always changing so that even people that get into the game now, right, you are going to have some level playing field, even though you're just getting into the game. So I love the practical wisdom, the practical advice. And I think, in my opinion, he set a pretty low bar, right? Like it's not this gigantic spend you need to make or a gigantic investment in personnel or equipment. He said, hey, you got to do this, this, and this, and really took out 99% of the excuses from the conversation. Michael, we're going to let you close us out.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Nathan. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm going to cut out, but man, what I heard, it was an amazing conversation. And you're right, very practical. We hope y'all enjoyed this conversation with Nathanael Greklek. On behalf of myself, Paul J. Daly, and Kyle Mountsier, this is Auto Collabs. Can't wait to see you next time.
Welcome to Auto Collabs. Why are we recording?
Are we rolling?